I'm new to this. Sorry. So, trying something. I needed to find an easier way for me to express everything that's happened. Um, but I can't write. I mean, I can write, but I suck at writing and I hate it with a passion. So I admire everybody who can write. I really do. Get all that out, all those emotions, all those tragic events out. So I thought for me, maybe vlogging would be an easier solution. So I'm gonna give it a shot today. I just wanted to discuss the things that have happened over the past probably just 2 days. I was a part of something quite big in South Africa, well, the whole world, you know. This is 2020 and the world is a shitstorm. So let's just start from the beginning. I was an au pair in Germany, in Hamburg, and I went on a trip to the UK, and that was in the February, beginning of March. And already then, COVID-19 was starting to become a thing, and there was like people getting worried, but nothing too hectic was happening yet. I mean, in China it was bad, but for the rest of the world we're like, meh, we'll be fine. So I came back mid-March, and by that point, Germany was going not into lockdown, but the government had advised people to not really go out, leave their houses. Most of the shops closed except for grocery stores, drugstores, and pharmacies. So it was very limited. And then things started to get really bad in South Africa. And it made me realize that I need to come home. Because now this has become a global pandemic. And those things don't just go away quickly and then you can go home. I was supposed to go home in August. So I was supposed to do a year in Germany. But with the way things were going, I was like, I can't. I need to get home now. So I spoke to my host family and I was in contact with DERCO and the Home Away from Home organization. So that's a bunch of volunteers that were helping everybody that was stranded all over the globe to get back to South Africa. And they were so helpful. If you had any questions, they would answer with all the knowledge that they knew. And the thing is, it was planned, but nobody knew what was happening. So it was very difficult for them to be able to give us proper information. They didn't know much more than us. So I was on the list for a repatriation flight. And I had a flight before that was booked for the 19th of April, which was cancelled because of lockdown in South Africa. So I said, okay, no, I need to get on that repatriation flight back to South Africa, which was on the 17th of April. No, it was on the 18th, my mistake. Okay, so I was like to the family, I'm so sorry, but I need to get home. I don't know when this is all going to stop, when it's going to slow down, when I'll be able to go home again. I want to take this opportunity. So I did. And they were very caring and they helped me a lot. I packed my bags. I had booked a train ticket because the flight was from Frankfurt in Germany to Johannesburg. So I needed to make my way to Frankfurt, which is about a 5-hour train ride away. So now comes all the details. So about 9 o'clock on the Friday. My brain is muddled. Saturday? Yeah. 9 o'clock Saturday morning. I start panicking because I'm leaving for the train station in half an hour. It's always, that mad rush before you leave any place. Like, do I have all my stuff? Have I forgotten something? Was there something else I was supposed to do? Because, I was living in a different country, so, I had to close bank accounts. I had to deregister so that I'm not living in that country anymore. There was lots of stuff that was very difficult to do because everything was closed. So then 9 o'clock is like, I need to just make sure I've got everything done. 9:30 we left for the train station, and we stood for a little bit, like 10 minutes at the train station waiting for the train to come. Got on it. I had lots of bags. I had like this one, those really big bags. I had one of those. I had a smaller one for like hand luggage that I was going to check in both, and then I had a plastic bag. So South African of me, just like filled with clothes, and then I had my backpack full of like all my electronics and everything. So I had tons of bags to carry, and everything was really heavy because I'd stuffed it so much. I don't have those hard case bags. It's like material ones, so you can sort of just open the zip a little bit and stuff stuff inside and close it again. So the bags were super heavy. So I got at least some help getting the bags onto the train, but then the rest I had to do on my own, which I was a bit nervous for because it was really heavy and it was a lot of stuff that I had to get on there. But this was just the beginning of the craziness. So the train ride was really nice from Hamburg to Frankfurt, and beautiful scenery, like seeing the countryside of Germany. All the canola fields were in flower, so like just these yellow patches along the mountains. It was really, really stunning. And it made me sad, like, that I wasn't going to be seeing that probably for a long time, because who knows when you're going to be able to fly back to Europe and traveling is going to become normal again. So just enjoyed the scenery and all of that, and arrived at Frankfurt main station, and I had a connecting train. So I hopped off the train and I checked what platform I needed to be at. We arrived at platform 6, and my next train was from platform 7, which was great because it was actually the same platform and the train was coming from this side and this side. So it's like, aware, I don't have to go anywhere. I can get off this train, wait my 20 minutes, get on the next train. So the other train had been delayed by like 10 minutes because of vandalism. So I was like, fine, I was just sitting there, and then they start calling that the train has gone to a different platform, which isn't very far. I think it was platform 8. So it was just across, but I had to walk all the way around to it. And the train had already pulled in to the station. And I'm like, oh, damn it. So I quickly grab all my bags, try and get my stuff together, and I'm walking as fast as I can to get to the platform in time. While I'm doing this, my smaller hand luggage bag, the handle breaks. So now I can't really pull my bag. But I've got so much to carry. So I'm like trying to make a plan. I've got like the one metal piece sticking out. So I'm like grabbing that. My other hand is cramping completely because the other bag is so heavy. So I'm walking as fast as I can. The bags keep falling over. It was like a complete nightmare, and I was stressing so much. And just as I got to the platform, all the doors closed. And once the doors close on those trains, they don't open again. That means the train is leaving. So I was like 1 meter away from getting on the train, and the doors close. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? I am stuck. So my host father had told me that there is an S-Bahn, so it's like a more regional train, and I don't even know if that's the right word, gosh, but there's there's like trains that go just in the local area. And he said there's an S train that goes from the main station to the airport. So I was like, okay, now I need to find this. My problem is now I don't have a SIM card, a German SIM card. So I don't have any data, I can't check. So I tried and find some Wi-Fi. Thankfully I did. Got onto Google Maps to try and see where this train is coming from, which train it is, which number, because there's like tons of trains because it's the main station now. So I was very lost. I was on the verge of a breakdown. Then I saw the little sign. It's like round and green and it has an S in it. And I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So I quickly go to that train area, the platform, and then I see there's multiple trains. So I'm like, I didn't check what number of the S train I'm supposed to get on. So thankfully my Google Maps hadn't reloaded because now I was out of the Wi-Fi range. And I saw I needed to get on the S8. But I was looking on the boards and I didn't see any S8. So now I'm stressing again. So one train comes and goes, and then the boards change and I see S8 is coming next. I'm like, okay, thank goodness. The train finally arrives. I've got my bags, everything, like ready. I know there's like a gap this big that I need to try and get the bags across. So when I'm stepping into the train, I'm pulling with all my force to get this big bag over the lip. But it gets stuck. So I end up throwing everything because I have all this like power that I'm pushing everything forward. I just chuck everything like across the train. And thankfully, because then I sort of threw everything out of my hands and then I could concentrate, I turned around to grab my bag and I like just ripped it in. I'm like shaking, my arms are completely exhausted. I feel like I can't hold anything. So I'm standing there with all my bags and I've got like 3 stops to go to. And it's always stressful because everything is in German and then you don't know if you're getting off at the right place, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe I was just really stressed and I couldn't think clearly. But I'm always like double checking every stop that we're at. Is it this one that I need to go? Is it this one? Is it this one? So maybe don't travel with me during a global pandemic. Just a little tip. But yeah, I eventually actually got to the airport and went up the elevator, and then there were trolleys. I was so happy because my arms just couldn't take pulling the bags anymore. So I quickly chucked my bags onto the trolley, and now I need to try and find the gate that we're supposed to go register at to get on the flight. Thankfully that wasn't far, but there was quite a long queue, so I got in the queue and I just started crying. I think it was just like a relief, like I finally made it here, in one piece. I have all my stuff and I'm going home. So that was like such a relief. I stood in the queue for quite a while, but it was moving quite fast. We had to pay for the flight, so I had organised with my parents to get money transferred into my South African account because they said they would accept South African credit cards. That's where I went wrong. I don't have a credit card, I have a debit card. And so when I got to like the teller to pay, it's like, here's my card. And she's like, I'm not sure this is going to work. So I'm like, what? Don't say this to me now. Like I've got all this way and I've got money ready to pay for this flight. So she tries my card like 4 times and it just doesn't work. Thankfully there were forms that we could fill in for the government to help us pay for the flight. So she gave me all the paperwork and I was filling it out. And I was quite like late to the whole thing. So I was quite far in the queue and there weren't many people behind me. So I was filling in that form, and by the time I was finished there was I think like 1 or 2 people waiting in the queue left. So it was really like the end. And I was stressing. So anyway, I give her all my paperwork, finally get all my bags checked in, and I can almost breathe because I know, okay, my stuff is going. That means I'm going. So we make our way through security. I meet some people that I'm going to be on the flight with, and we chat, and you know, it's nice to make a friend and somebody you can relate to, you know, that's also gone through all this. And I mean, it's traumatic and it's stressful and it's not great, and I don't recommend it to anybody. Yeah, so we go through security and passport control and everything, and then we're waiting at the gate. And a lot of people have been waiting there for a long time already, because they got to the airport really early, or like the day before or something. So they've been waiting there most of the day, and we want to be like close to the gate as possible. So we're standing like at a pillar just there, and we waited quite a while. We got to see all the people that were, the word has left me, all the hostesses and hosts and the pilots and everything. We got to see them. They did like a little photo shoot in front of us, and it was great to see them. And like, I'm so thankful to those people because they dedicated so much of themselves to bring us home. They have to go into quarantine for 2 weeks as well with us, so they, like, for one flight, put so much on the line, and I am forever grateful to them. Really, we are so lucky. So we eventually boarded. We got on quite early, and sitting in my seat on the plane, and I'm like, I'm going home. I'm actually going home. I was so relieved and so thankful. It's just almost surreal. All the stuff that we had gone through, all the stress, was almost all coming to an end. So it was a almost 11-hour flight. It was direct from Frankfurt to Joburg or Tambo, and yeah, I mean, it was a night flight, so I tried to sleep on the plane, but it's very uncomfortable, you know, it's very difficult. I'm also one of those people that feels really bad if I put my seat back, so I end up like just sitting up straight and like trying to sleep, and my neck is breaking. I know it's all my own fault. But yeah, we got 2 meals on the plane, dinner and breakfast, and for the circumstances that we're in, the food was really good, and we're very lucky. When we first got on the plane, and they did like takeoff and everything, and then they did an announcement saying, okay, we'll be serving dinner soon, but we'll first be serving your beverages and stuff. Unfortunately, we are not serving any alcohol. And it was so funny because the whole plane almost goes into riots. Like, hey, come on, man, we want alcohol. Because we know we're going back to South Africa and lockdown, there's no alcohol being sold. It was very funny. It was good to have some sense of humor. And they put on the national anthem, and we're all singing. And it was really very special, and it really united us all. We were clapping a lot, like when we landed, when we first took off. It was really special to be a part of that, and I'm so thankful. So we landed in Joburg at about 5 in the morning, and we had to stay on the plane for long. I'm sure we're on the plane for at least like an hour after we landed, because when we first like stopped and everything, everybody gets up and they grab their jackets and their bags and they're all ready to depart the plane. Then you hear the captain saying, okay, everybody please sit down. We're first going to have people coming through and checking everybody's temperatures. So while we're in the plane, we're given a form to fill out, just to see if we've been like in contact with anybody who's confirmed or suspected of COVID-19, and have we had a cough, fever, or whatever. So we had to fill out this whole questionnaire, and then the health department came on the plane. They were testing everybody's temperatures and they were writing it on the paper. So that took a while, and then the people getting off the plane, they were only doing 20 at a time, and I was quite far back in the plane, so it took really long. 20 people in a plane of like 300 is very slow, but it's understandable. I mean, the whole thing that we're going through. So, you know, you have extra patience, and we go through passport control, which was really quick. Then they put us on minibuses and they take us back to the plane, not to get on, but they had all our bags on the tarmac, everybody's bags laid out, and then you had to go grab your bags, and then you stood with all your bags. Then they would call like a certain amount of people to get on a minibus. You put all your bags in the trailer and then you sit there. Obviously they had to do that for everybody, and all the minibuses were on the tarmac. There were so many. It was crazy. Because, I mean, they're carting 300 people and they're not filling the minibuses to their capacity to try and keep the social distancing and all that stuff. So, a lot of minibuses. I would say about an hour later, we left the airport. So we're all driving in convoy. No robots, nothing was stopping us. We're all just together driving through. It was so bizarre to drive through the roads because there's like no cars. And it was really misty, so you couldn't see very far. It was like arriving in a different world. I swear, it was so strange. And then we had no idea where we were going for quarantine for 2 weeks. So we were all just sitting there and like, hope we're not being kidnapped. Well, that was my thoughts at least. But then we arrived at Birchwood Hotel and Conference Centre, which is not far from the airport. And it's really, really nice here. Beautiful view. It's got lots of nature in it. And yeah, so we were in our minibuses for another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, sitting in the parking lot of this place. And it was like 4 minibuses, and then everybody just parked in, and then they were letting one minibus into the reception at a time. And because we're at the back of the plane, we were like at the end of everything, so we were right at the end of the queue, and we had to sit there for really long. We eventually got to the front. We got to go to reception. We got our keys, and we had to bring our bags into our rooms. When we got to reception, they had like a quick little meeting. They just told us what's happening, and I'm really impressed with this place. Like, they were only told the night before at 10:30 that they're going to be hosting like 300 people, and they had to organize everything in that time. They had to organize food, they had to organize all the rooms with imagine fresh sheets, make sure the bathrooms are stocked, make sure there's enough coffee and tea and everything. Which is a lot to do when there's so many people, and you're also closed because nobody can travel or anything, so all accommodation places are closed, all hotels are closed. So to try and organize all of that in such a small amount of time, I admire them. It's really incredible. They said that they're not sure if we're going to get lunch. And we had eaten breakfast at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's now like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then we're told that we might not get lunch. I mean, it was hard, but we knew we could survive. It's just not preferable. So it's like in the back of your mind, okay, well, I'm getting really hungry, but now I can't get food. I can't go to the shops. I'm stuck in my room for the next 2 weeks. I can't go anywhere. So if I don't have anything, I don't have anything. And they thankfully did organize something. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we got food. By that point, I had had a shower, a little nap, because I was so exhausted. All this traveling, all this stress was just piling up on me, and it was so much to take in. So yeah, we got our lunch. I was so happy. I was so surprised, and made me really thankful for the food. It does make a big difference. Yeah, and now it's day 2, or first full day of quarantine, and that is my experience of the repatriation. So I'll be here for 2 weeks, and I'm not allowed to leave my room. I'm not a smoker, so smokers are allowed to step out their door to smoke. They don't smoke in the rooms, but I mean, it's quite nice. I'm looking forward to it because I've been working this whole time, so I am excited to catch up on my sleep. I can do some drawing, watch movies, video edits for this, and also for my UK trip. So I'm going to be really busy in this time. I'm going to sound like everybody else, but I'm going to try and do some exercise because I'm going to get fat here. Not doing anything and just eating 3 meals a day with soft drinks, which I don't drink normally, but I mean, it's very nice to have like a Coke and a Sprite and everything, but my body is not used to having so much sugar, so that's going to be an issue. So we can do like a before and after quarantine, see what it look like. But I think that's my story, my experience, and I'm sure it's very different for a lot of the people here that have come from some countries. They've managed to organize to get to Germany, which I don't think is very easy. A lot of borders are closed. A lot of transportation has stopped. So there were a lot of people in much worse situations than me. But I'm so thankful that I got home safely. And I'm going to see my family soon. And I just hope that everybody stays safe and healthy during this time. And that I'm so thankful to SAA and South African government for organising these repatriation flights and bringing us all home safely.